Alright, so let's do this problem. Let f be a measurable function on E with finite measure, and suppose f of x is finite for almost every x in E. We want to show there exists a measurable subset A in E and constant m greater than 0, such that the measure of E set minus A is less than epsilon, and f of x is bounded by m for all x in A. So again, we kind of want to think about continuity of measure and kind of build a set which is converging toward E. How do we do this? So define so n equals set of x and E such that f sub x is less than or equal to n. Now we see the union as n equals 1 to infinity, b sub n, that's going to equal E, right? Because we're just making n bigger and bigger and bigger, and then we'll just eventually get the actual function x. And then by continuity of measure, we get that the measure of 1 of b sub n is the measure of E equals limit as n goes to infinity of the measure of E sub n, that's equal to E, the measure of E. Because as we get toward infinity, we just get our original function. And then from this statement, by the definition of convergence, we have there exists m such that measure of E minus measure of E sub m is less than epsilon. And since E sub m will always be a subset of E, we know that this is equivalent to measure of E minus E sub m. And now we have the first part. So when A equals E sub big M. And now for the second part, this basically just follows. So we see that on our set E sub big M, we have that this is true. And we're done. And notice that E sub m is a measurable subset because, well, first of all, it's a subset because, when you're bounding the f, that's obviously going to be a subset of the unbounded f. And then it's measurable because f is measurable. And we see that because f is measurable, the set of x and E such that f of x is less than or equal to m is measurable. And the set of x and E such that f of x is greater than or equal to negative m is measurable, right? Or I guess to be more formal, we can make it like this. And thus, when we intersect these two, we will get a measurable set. Thus, f is E sub big M, which is this intersection, will be measurable. And we're done.